Welcome, everyone. Thanks for listening to the first Erskine Arts podcast around the pool table. Woo! First one, exciting. Thanks for that's the noise still there. Thanks for giving us your time to listen. For those who don't know us, we'll do a wee introduction. I'm Jason.
I'm Ailey.
I am Ali.
And I'm Craig.
So we're around the pool table here to kind of kick off our podcast. Today, thought we'd just kind of give a little bit of chat very briefly about the history of Erskine Arts, or UMMS, as you may know us. Talk about our future plans with the podcast, different guests we're going to have on, and just a kind of bit of general chat about our experience with the project in past, present and future. I'd like to pass on to our Managing Director, Ali, to
Thank you, Jason.
give a little bit of brief history about
Yeah, the project Erskine Music and Media Studio started 10 years ago. It literally started off as 3 hours a week volunteering, a wee bit of music
on a
equipment
Monday.
on a Monday night. You were there?
I was there.
Yeah. Ailey was
Guilty.
I was there.
there. Yeah. And literally a place for young people to hang out, play some music, get some training on their instrument, how to put a band together. Just a general cool place to hang out.
Absolutely.
And we got a bit of funding to expand the project, and things have just really grown from every year. We got started weekend studio sessions and young executive meetings, which is now the crew meeting. And yeah, it's grown into a community interest company, which was formed in
2014.
2014.
Yeah, I remember it.
And you guys have come through the project, haven't you?
We have. Yeah. Started attending with my band at the time, just coming down, hanging out with other people that were friends in the area that were in bands, even before I was in a band, actually. It was just that kind of space that when we started the weekend sessions, if it was 6 hours long, you came at the start and you left at the end and just hung about, played pool, had a munch, had a chat, bit of banter, a wee giggle,
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it?
and a wee bit of playing as well. Yeah, there was a real scene about it. That's kind of how I started, got involved.
Yeah, it got to the point where all the bands that were coming in would bring their friends along, and then the friends that came to watch the bands would start new bands. So it's just always growing in here.
Yeah, so we now run music workshops
7 hours a week.
for young children,
Yeah,
young
8
people.
to 14.
And we teach guitar and drums and a bit of bass guitar. And yeah, we now, because we're a community interest company, we run a lot of services. So we do live event hires, PA hires, lighting, film and media projects. Ailey's now in as our media officer. Jason, you're putting together a lot of the program, creative program, and Craig doing a bit of general management.
An official
I'm teaching
welcome
at the
to
moment.
Craig, actually, as part
Welcome
of the
to
team.
the family.
Welcome. Yeah.
So no, it's been amazing journey. As I say, 10 years, and we've got a lot of plans for the future and a lot of new programmed activity, which I'm sure you would chatting about.
Chatting about. Close one. Yeah, so that's kind of really, really brief history. Obviously, it goes a lot more in depth about what we've done. So at the heart of everything we've always done is the young people. You know, it was myself and Ailey at one point. Now, very luckily, we have managed to get employment through it, and we've got quite a large group of young people between 15 to 19 actually meeting every Monday to discuss the ongoings of the project and new developments into it, one of which is the podcast. One of the ideas from one of our young people. You'll be probably quite happy to know that we are not going to be the ones sitting every week or every time you tune in. It's going to be very young person led. A lot of different guests.
Guaranteed better patter.
Guaranteed. Yeah, better chat from the young people. And lots of really amazing guests that young people have wanted in that span not just music and media, but entire creative industries. Music, art, theatre, even to politics as well, so outside, and just anything young people, they're leading it with questions and really having a good chat with the guests that are going to be coming.
Yeah.
I think that kind of programming is nice to signal the change from Erskine Music and Media Studio, which really was ostensibly as it sounds. It
Absolutely.
was music and media, but the change to Erskine Arts is a reflection of the growth of the project and the expansion into other territory. That music and media is still a big part of it, but there are other things coming to the table, and that is from a place that is very much youth led. That this is the direction that the young people want it to go in, and we get to support it in ways like this. Like this idea of the podcast came from the crew, which is our young people, 13 plus, who come out and do those PA hires and the kind of industry jobs that Ali's spoken about. They'd identified this as something they wanted to pursue. I think it's really good that we can support that in this way. It's pretty exciting.
It is, and there's loads more. It's not one of many ideas that the crew have had. Just recently, got a fund allowed us to run a music club, kind of really celebrating and getting into physical media of music, vinyl, CDs. It's got an S. Cassettes. Maybe not. And really, and visiting other places, record shops, record studios,
Other music projects.
And again, this is something that was identified by the young people that they really wanted to get into. We've got a Facebook group for them. They post a lot of their favourite tracks, new albums they've heard, and diving into the past and seeing if they love Green Day or AC/DC, what the bands and artists inspired them, and really diving into it. And again, it's another thing that the young people have wanted to get into and are really passionate about. The fund process for that was a participatory budgeting fund, PB for short, where the young people, themselves voted. If they had a Young Scot card, voted in the applications of what they wanted to happen, what they wanted to achieve, and thankfully we were one of the lucky ones that got the fund.
I think it's really important. Like when Craig and I were growing up, you would save up your money to buy, your favourite band's album when it came out, and having access to that physical media. I think it's really important, and that's something we're able to continue sharing with young people in today, where physical media is maybe not
not as big as it
it's
once
not as big.
was.
Everybody can listen to tracks online whenever they want, as soon as it comes out.
There's something about there's like a kind of commitment around physical media as well. Like when you buy an album, you're more likely to listen from start to finish. So when you come across something that you're maybe not familiar with, it's out of your comfort zone, you're still going to give it a try. So it's letting the young people broaden their horizons in music too.
I think it's that experience. I'd spoken to one of the young people that comes to the workshops, was wearing a T-shirt of an album that I quite like. I like it a lot, and we're speaking
Name
of the
it.
record, and it's about how much he liked it, and he's like, I like a few tracks on it, and it's really not the kind of album that would only like a few tracks. Like, it's a really consistent record. But I thought that probably speaks to the way that digital music is consumed.
It's very passive.
You just click past it, or you
Yeah.
skip to the next one, whereas I'd have had it on vinyl and listened to it side A then side B, and it would have been an entire thing for me. So I think even just bringing that into the music club, it changes how you listen to music and how you appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's not quite as ephemeral as like Spotify or Tidal or
It's an
Amazon,
experience,
whatever.
especially with vinyl. It's a full package as well. It's not just the album. A lot of vinyl is, the packaging of it itself is, it's artwork. It's just, it's like this whole thing. It's an experience to buy it and get home excited about it and open it.
It's such a, like, I remember the bands that I liked growing up, that the artwork was a significant part of the record, because you looked at the record while you were listening to it. Like, I remember getting,
Especially on vinyl, getting
Yeah.
a huge.
The inserts.
Like, I remember buying Murder Ballads by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, and that in that gatefold there's an art book inside it, and looking through that as I listening to the songs. Tool were always really big on artwork, still now, doing their kind of CD digital display on their stuff. Neurosis had a guy in the band essentially whose contribution was the artwork, because they identified it as such an integral part of the experience. And you don't really get that. You know, I know Spotify and things have kind of changed. They have visuals as they play along, but it's not the same. So it's nice to have that.
It's not tangible.
Aye, and you can see, I think, the difference when they have.
Did
you hear that?
Boost that in the mix at that
The
point.
difference when someone holds the record in their hand, you know, it's quite a different experience.
And the music club's only a new part of the project.
Absolutely.
We
Brand new.
have an LGBT plus group called Shout Out.
We do indeed.
Which Jason's been championing.
Yes, myself and Ailey. That was, we got a bit of funding for that. Again, another thing identified by some of the young people that they really wanted a space to come down and be able to openly share their thoughts and feelings and experiences and get advice, in an environment that was inclusive and non-judgmental. Something that I never had as a gay man, a gay teenager growing up. Didn't have. This was the closest place to go that I knew no one cared in a way that no one was going to have an issue with it. You could talk to people here, so it's great that we're now able to offer that.
And it's been like that from day one. I think the
inclusivity.
Thank you.
And that's been a big attraction for me as an outsider. So I'd like to speak to the experience that you guys have of you starting the project, you guys coming through as young people and now being full-time employees in the project. My experience has always been an outsider observing. Remember the very first time, I don't know, maybe 7, 8 years ago, I was at a birthday party across the hall and I heard a band playing and I came to the door just to have a wee scratch to see what was going on. And we get a chat and realised how much we had in common. We're playing at the same time, we knew the same bands and
Music
the same
taste.
people. Not music taste. But it was cool. And I brought down to the symbol that's on the kit was one of mine that I bought. I was 16 or 17 and I brought it in for you guys.
That's right, I remember.
That's crazy, man. Didn't know that.
Aye, and I just that the whole way the project was presented was really attractive, and the fact that it is this place, no matter your interest or your background, there's a space for you here that you're safe in. And I think it's great the provision is made not just for music, which is obviously important to us all, but they identify other things that are important to young people and making sure there's a space when they come and they can belong here.
Yeah.
Like when we're at the crew at the last meeting, the crew for the past month or so, there is always, every week there's been new members, and we were sitting kind of introducing a new member, and when we'd asked the motivation for joining, they had said they'd come to make new friends. That's quite touching.
Yeah, absolutely.
To think that it's not just, I love music, I want to learn about the technical aspects of music, I want to learn to play, that there's obviously this notion in the community that we're a really friendly, welcoming, inclusive place that people want to come to. It's an amazing thing to be a part of.
Hopefully coming down even just to meet new people, that they get that access to something that they're going to be really inspired by or
they might not even
they want to
thought
do.
of.
They might find out that they actually really love photography and they want to get into photography or getting behind a camera and filming. We just did a show recently for one of the local creative organisations, and we had a brand new crew out at the weekend, didn't we? And some of them were backstage doing mic changeovers, which is quite a intense job, and they pulled it off really well. And we had young guys on camera duty filming the show for the first time, creating some great footage, with assistance from Ailey. One of the young guys doing lighting for the show, and a real team effort. Hopefully it's a platform for them to find something that they're really interested in, really vibed about. Coming out and doing a live event, setting up the PA, doing some live sound, and even just getting involved in the LGBT group or the crew group and event organising. We do Saltire Awards, don't we? Young people currently at the moment they record the hours that they come down here and volunteer and the skills that they're learning, and we're able to offer Saltire Awards, and we're going to be having an award ceremony at the end of this year. And it's a great pathway for young people to gain new skills, gain new gain confidence, get new friends, and they take that on to when they go to like their college interviews or even job interviews or university or.
Look at the success of some of the young people that have come through. So not just you both, but some of the your peer group at that time.
Absolutely.
That are now working professionally in the music industry.
Which is, as you may know, listening, is a super tough nut to crack. The music industry, to get in there and get involved. So we've got some young people that have came through that are, working sound at festivals and quite high profile festivals as well.
And venues.
Established venues in the city.
Established venues in the city. Doing sound for it. One of our young people that have came up, a young person adult now, is the main tech at one of Glasgow's biggest kind of music venues as well.
Yep.
I think not just that to evidence the kind of support and direction given through the project is a big thing to point to that and say, well, you've maybe helped work towards that. But I think that one of the most important things about that is that on Friday we had to have a bit of cover for our workshop classes, and one of the young people who is incredibly busy in industry now came back and spent the entire Friday evening helping the workshop. So the relationship still exists with the studio.
Absolutely.
And that speaks volumes about how
there's a
the
real love
project
for
felt.
it, and it always seems like a total cliche, but every group of young people that come through have said, it's like a second home, or it's like a big
it's like a big family.
or as cliche as these kind of terms are and how easily they're thrown about, but it really seems to have some staying power with most people that come through.
I think that's a big
project.
part of the success of the project is creating an environment, where young people, it is a safe environment for people to come, and they do talk about it as being, their second home, which is amazing. And I remember when we first started, that was what young people wanted. The main thing that they wanted when they started this sort of Erskine Music and Media Studio group was we just wanted a place of our own, and I think that's, we did a refurbishment in this space in Bergarden, and young people were a big part of that, and just a space where they can call their own and have,
It's what we all want.
we all want.
I think that's the thing. Like, it's not that this isn't just a job,
No.
And I think that the
Absolutely not.
culture that you've created, I share the feelings that you have, and I've kind of stepped into this world that you've created, and there's a real passion for what we're doing and the support that we're giving to young people, and even things like the participatory budgeting evening, the actual awards night, that every organisation had applied. It was a really busy evening, wasn't it? And our young people done the sound that night. I was unbelievably proud. I've never done anything. I'm just sitting there. But the pride that you feel knowing that these are people that you get to spend time with. Any event that we go to, at the show at the weekend, doing the mic changeovers, doing the lights, being involved in filming, we feel a real sense of pride that we know these young people and we get to support them.
And it's not an easy shift, these jobs as well. It's real tough work, but they come out and they do it without any complaints. So it just shows that they're dedicated and they love helping. They love this place.
Yeah, because I think creative industries, as you were saying, Jason, it can be a bit of a pressure environment. It's hard going. There's a lot of pressure to produce the goods and do produce high quality content or during events. There's always a really high bar to keep, and for young people to provide that service and keep that bar high is amazing. But we've built so many partnerships over the past 10 years. Working with so many local groups, but also Renfrewshire wide, and in Paisley, Renfrewshire Council, we do lots of work for the events team, Renfrewshire Leisure. They've given us we were awarded a fund, the Cultural Organisational Development Fund, for the next 3 years, which is going to allow us to grow and grow the project, provide more opportunities for young people, and really look to the future, and really work on those partnerships that we've got.
And develop new ones, create stronger bonds within the community. Hence one of the reasons I think the young people came up with the podcast idea, to try and get our message out there and the young people's message in a way that, podcasts are obviously very popular, so we're jumping on that. But yeah, you're getting our message out there. We've been lucky enough to have received national recognition at the Young Scot Awards.
That's right.
And Youth Link Awards, but just getting our message out locally to our community, where we function, where our young people are from. It's really important, and hopefully,
And they don't just come from Erskine; they come from
no, Renfrewshire wide, Linwood, Paisley, Johnston, further. I'm sure people have came from, quite regularly as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really valid point. I guess that traditionally, when you talk about arts and culture, you don't think about the smaller towns.
Uh-huh.
You would gravitate towards Glasgow.
Mm-hmm.
Paisley's well established. The relationships that you guys have built with Renfrewshire Leisure and Renfrewshire Council and other organisations like like Outspoken Arts that have provided a lot of guidance and support. What you've grown, you're now bringing back locally, and really, the benefit has been to the local young people in attending. But now this change to Erskine Arts, all the things that you've learned, the ideal is that the benefit is to the community, and it's this greater sense of integration. I think that's really exciting, and it's things like this.
Yep.
To start this, because the success that you spoke about, these national awards and recognition and respect that you guys have as an organisation is so widely known, but maybe not quite so much here. So it's nice to bring a focus back.
Yep. I think you're right. I think with Erskine being a new town, I think the project, because we've got so many links Renfrewshire wide, I think the project, it's really helped to keep Erskine on the map culturally. And we really hope to develop that. We want to put Erskine back on the cultural map.
Absolutely.
And bring more programming activity, more high quality programming activity to Erskine, and hopefully that's something we can work on in the future.
And we've got the young people.
The young people are unbelievably creative.
I remember when I was younger, there was a place in Paisley called the Firehouse. I told you guys about it. And it was quite similar in that it was a place for young people. And it kind of, I guess, like maybe the Saturday sessions you would have where you would come and just play with other musicians and bands would form. But the amount of successful bands that came from that place in Paisley is unbelievable. Professional musicians that still play now, they'll play like the Hydro, big venues and big bands that came from that environment. And the young people that we have in our organisation, there's no reason that it couldn't be a similar path for them in the future. And I think that is really exciting, and that idea of Erskine being put on the map culturally, it's beyond feasible.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's always been, what's always struck me is it's always been it's really organic, the way that we've grown. And I was talking about our workshops, we have kids as young as 8 coming through, and what we've seen with this round of the crew is that people that came when they were 10, 9 to learn guitar and drums are now at 13, 14, and they're naturally progressing into the crew. And it's great to see that. You can't really see it when you're in the moment, but be able to look now and be able to see this progression of people coming through and going into further education, getting jobs in the industry, and just creating a real love for arts, no matter what that be. It's pretty special, isn't it?
Aww.
Isn't it? So as we kind of wind up, as we were saying, it's not going to be as it would be. This will be very young person led in the future with these podcasts. So all the next ones you might see one of our faces, but it's going to be young person led with whatever guest we've got on, or maybe just the young people, talking about whatever they want to talk about. If you listen and have any ideas or any things you'd want to see in the podcast or hear about, please let us know and comment, and we will try our darnest to get people.
Where did that come
accent?
We'll try our darndest.
That's what I was going for. To get those ideas out there and get our young people involved. So it's a thanks from me. The Ronnies. Thanks very much for listening.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for being at the pool table. Do you want a game? And we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.